There's an old famous quote by an individual that I wrote in the bulletin this morning, and that is, you got to lather them before you shave them. Anybody remember who said that? Well, he was a businessman years ago, and he came to his office, and some of his associates were fussing about a little kid selling books out in front of their building. And they tried to run the little kid off, but they kept coming back and trying to sell these little books, you know, the little story books and that stuff. And they didn't know what to do. They tried everything they could. So finally they asked this gentleman, can you run him off? And he goes, I certainly will. And he went down there with all the fury of God. And he walked out the door and he stood face to face with this little kid trying to hawk books in front of his building on the sidewalk. And before he got a word out, the little kid looked up at him with huge eyes and said, are you the world famous George Carnegie? Why, I've always dreamed of being like you. He ended up buying 11 books from the kid. And he learned a phrase that would make him famous. You got to lather them before you shave them. This morning, Paul writes to the Thessalonians, he writes, you know what? We have worked so hard for the Lord God, and He's entrusted us with His Word. And we want nothing more than to share that Word with you. And we've been beat up for it, and we've been clobbered for it, and thrown out of just about every town. And we still have come to you, not as men of authority or power or wisdom or grace or might or any of this stuff. We didn't come with fancy words or clever speech. We just came as men who love God and want to teach you to love God as well. And because you're very dear to us. Men of integrity is what he's talking about. The first characteristic of every Christian man and woman should be just that. Not fancy language, not clever speech, not this or that, shifting stories, but just pure 100% USDA approved honesty, genuineness, and integrity. We're going to talk about that this morning. First, I want you to stand up one more time.